And I want to hear about the rules too, because you said there's a lot of rules. So, what rules do you remember being maybe the more absurd uh, of them?
Absurd rules. I mean, there's a rule about everything. Well, I mean, you don't celebrate holidays. You're not allowed to celebrate holidays. You do not speak to people who are disfellowshipped or disassociated. Um, there's the control of information. It's not so much a rule that's carved in stone, but it's just the lifestyle. So, you just can't have friends at school. Everybody, so people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses are called worldly. And worldly is a slur in the Jehovah's Witnesses. In the real world, if you call someone worldly, it means they're like sophisticated, like educated, or they travel, they have some kind of book smart, street smarts, or something like that. But in Jehovah's Witnesses, worldly is means you're not a Jehovah's Witness and you're like less than. So you need to be saved by us and that sort of thing. So it's just the lifestyle. It's completely unnatural. Um, the knocking on doors and talking to strangers at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. And it's so I mean, like, cults vary in their severity. Like, if a Scientologist, breaks a rule, they might be killed. You hear these things, these documentaries and things of like, oh, they found me, they hunted me down and killed me, or whatever happened to that guy who was a Scientologist. I don't know. He spoke out and no one ever saw him again. So, or I broke a rule, so I had to scrub a toilet with a toothbrush. That was in a documentary about Scientologists. So, as far as like rules and the severity, I mean, if you get, if you break a rule like premarital sex, or, when it deals with people's marriages and their private lives and things like that, and you get disfellowshipped, I mean, the disfellowshipping process is just an absolutely inhumane and humiliating situation. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses are goofy. They're just like, they look goofy, so they're an easy target and people make fun of them all the time. But people don't realize how brutal and um, cultish they are. They really don't know. It's easy to make fun of them because they dress silly, but they ruin people's lives.
Well, can you detail the disfellowship process?
Sure. Oh, like what, from like A to Z? Like what it looks
Yes, yes, it is.
like? So, like I said, two, excuse me, if two people, we're gonna get married, and or maybe not. They just two young people are caught having sex
Yeah.
and they're not married. Um, and the guy and the girl go before the judicial. What they'll do is they'll call you in. They say, "Well, we heard." It's so silly. It might sound stupid, but this is how it works in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Devin, we heard that you were with so and so, and there was no chaperone, and so we need to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Like, it's very just like, if somebody tells on you, if
It's
there's
just
some
like
sort of,
that.
it's just like
Wow.
that. They'll call you in, and then you have to go into the Kingdom Hall. So Jehovah's Witnesses, again, they don't call it church; they call it the Kingdom Hall. That's their place of worship, the building itself. So you would have to go into the Kingdom Hall, Devin, and tell your side, but it's all rigged. It doesn't matter. It's a kangaroo court. So when you go in, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then, guys, for the most part, get away with it. Whatever the thing is, sometimes it's marijuana use, or they is money laundering or something, or they embezzled money or something at work. It could be anything, but guys do get punished, but the guy, more often than not, will get away with whatever it was. But if it's a girl, and I don't care if the woman is in her 40s, but a lot of times if she's like 16 years old, you got three older men asking her very intrusive questions about her body, and just
Mm.
really, really inappropriate stuff that is dehumanizing and scars them for life. And for the longest time in this judicial process, women, and I keep saying women, I need to say girls, because we're talking about girls that were like 9 and 10 that were sexually abused. Their abuser. So I'm like, backing up a little bit. Let's say like some teenagers are fooling around. The guy will get a slap on the wrist, but the girl will get disfellowshipped, even if she's 16. So that means a 16-year-old girl has to sit in an audience a teenager. She's already confused. Maybe she had her first sexual experience or whatever it is, and she's judged and shunned by everybody. Nobody makes eye contact. Nobody speaks to her. But the guy can kind of walk around, you know. And again, guys do get punished, but disproportionately, girls are punished. Now, if it's a child sexual abuse case, which the Jehovah's Witnesses, I just want to say this now, have a massive chronic systemic child sexual abuse problem. Horrible. Tens of thousands of abusers have gone unreported to law enforcement. So back in the day, they changed it a little bit, but back in the day, if a 9-year-old said, "Hey, he touched me, something happened to me," they would make her sit in a room for the longest time. They would make her, a 9-year-old, sit in the room with her 35-year-old abuser and ask him, did this with 3 men. So imagine you're a little girl with 4 grown ass men in a room. And what do you think the guy's going to say? "Oh yeah, I did it. Take me to jail," you know? So lot of abuse of power, manipulation, that sort of thing. And they've since changed it. They've changed language in their literature. I could go on and on. This is a whole topic. They changed things in their literature to make it sound like, yeah, parents can absolutely go to law enforcement. You shouldn't have to say that. You should be reporting it. And no shit, the parents are allowed to go to law enforcement. But for the longest time, if you went to law enforcement, you would get in trouble. So the abuser was abused. I mean, excuse me, the abused child was not only abused, they were also they were victimized that way, and then the elders would also shun them and encourage everybody to shun the abused child and their family. Isn't that bananas? Not only were they victimized, but if their parents said, "Oh, we're not keeping this in the congregation. No, 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 no. We're going to the police." The parents would get shit. Sorry if I don't know if I can say that, but the parents would get in trouble with the elders because they're all about their image and their assets. It's a really abusive system.
That is insanity. So then you technically can be shunned out of the whole entire religion to the point where no one can affiliate with you anymore at age like 16
Oh, even younger.
or even younger.
Younger. I mean, it's they've gotten so much heat over the years that it's slightly changed. Little things have changed. Like right now, recently they what are we in 2025? I think it was as 2023. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. It's the same BS. It's just recycled. They make it's semantics. They make little tweaks here and there, little changes, but nothing really changes. Jehovah's Witnesses will say one thing on paper, but the culture of the organization is very different. So the whole shunning thing is recently they've said you can give a short greeting. Any ex-J-dubs watching this, you can give a brief greeting to a disfellowship person now. So that's a new change, Devin. So let's say I disassociated, so I have no hope. There's no hope for me. I'm totally dead. But let's say I was disfellowshipped. Let's say I got kicked out. I got in trouble. I got kicked out. I'm disfellowshipped. I'm showing remorse. I'm going to the meetings. I would walk through the Kingdom Hall doors, and if people saw me, they could say, "Hey, Bethany." They could say hi real quick, but then that's it. Like no more time. It's crazy. Like, why should you micromanage people's behavior? Really, why do you have to micromanage and like put clauses and little details of how you can greet the person, when you can greet them? And then for decades, if you were disfellowshipped, you don't even make eye contact with that person. That person is dead. So now, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, as of 2023, you're allowed to say hi to me really quick. You know, when you think about it, it's stupid. Where's your, I don't need your hello. You know, where's your critical thinking skills? You know, well, if I'm allowed to say hi to them, you know, for 5 seconds, why can't we just have a conversation? So, but the shunning issue it's killed people. People have committed suicide over it. Um, Deep depression. It is inhumane, absolutely inhumane. But they will paint it as if, oh, it's we don't shun. They're going to say one thing in their PR front and make things look really shiny and copacetic, but behind closed doors, the culture of the organization perpetuates shunning through humiliation and shame. It's really, really bad.
Okay. And how long did you say you?
I apologize. That was a
No,
lot.
this is great. This is great. How long did you say you've been out now?
I have been out. I mean, I started fading and distant. Basic fading is like a word for distancing. So I started distancing in 2016, 2017, but I was officially 100% out, disassociated, revoked my membership starting January 1st, 2018. So
Okay.
I guess 7 years. It feels longer, but yeah, I guess 7 years, 7, 8 years.
Did your relationship with your parents change at all before and after? I imagine it had to.
Immediately, I disappeared overnight, and so did they. I never
Oh, you
spoke
guys.
to I never spoke to my
Oh.
no, I never spoke to my parents ever again. They never spoke to me.
Oh. Okay. And you have no siblings?
I do have an older sibling. I have an older brother. He's 10 years older than me. And yeah, I lost my whole family overnight.
Okay, so he's still in it too.
He was out for a while. That's a whole story. He was out for a while and then he came back and
He came back.
yeah, he came back.
Do you say why?
That's his story to tell. I don't really want
Sure,
to,
sure.
which I understand why you asked, but yeah, there's reasons why people come back. But he was out for a while and then he came back and so yeah, they're not bad people. They're just brainwashed. I don't know what else to say. They're just brainwashed.